A rough Wednesday, rough middle of the week, and Thursday afternoon. The sun came up, man. Started shining a little bit. So hopefully, some of these things hold true and we continue to move forward. But if 2 or 3 of these things land, we are going to have so much fun covering high school sports, and doing other different things. But it's also that time of year where I decide to put a bunch of stress on myself and get mad about doing the complete 180 of what well, actually I guess we're doing what MFTK technically is. We are mentors for the kids, but I definitely be saying, man, fuck them kids as I go through this whole process. So and if you don't know what you're listening to, this is Big Games B.S, part of Den Media Group, presented by the MFTK Foundation. You go to the mftkfoundation.com for any updates and all of the different things, or check out the social medias, for all of the different things going forward. We are going to start having some plans and some things to be able to push and to be able to support the kids because of some of the projects that we want to do, golf tournaments, 7-on-7, really expanding, especially going into the girls. There's a lot of things that we want to be able to do to be able to provide mentorship and an outlet for these young men and women to be able to go and live their best lives and be able to prosper and flourish. So that's what brings us to show each and every day until we get another paid sponsor. But before that, let's start our show off the same way we start our show off each and every day, with a word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great all the time. All the time. Nobody wanna thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Y'all heard that, man. Y'all motherfuckers better thank God. But before we get into this, Mouse, can we let Jaden do the announcements? Can we find a happy birthday song or something like that? Because my dog birthday. I want to give him a shout out, man. He been around since, I don't even know if before. No, I've been doing tailgate since I had the shows, but I know he's been around since the tag era. He been through some things, man. Like that's like being an FSU fan saying you were around in the tag era is like saying you lived through Nam, or you should, we want to celebrate births. But Jaden, let's go ahead before we get into that. While we're looking for that, let's talk about the outline of what we're going to be talking about on the show today.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another morning edition.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling a little better.
Okay. All right, cool. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're on the mend, as they say.
Welcome to Big Games BS here on Friday, July 10th, 9:30 a.m. This is your first time at the show. Welcome. And if you're wondering why it's called Big Games BS, it's because we bring the good, the bad, and the BS of the sports world, especially football, to your screens, eyes, and ears. We're going to kick things off with our MFTK segment. We're going to be touching up on some familiar topics before getting into the college football segment. We got a quick FSU post to share before we dive into a lot of info about the college game. We got some teams to look at, some college football playoff percentages, and we got some polls as well. Then we're going to start off our NFL section with some Jaguars talk. We're going to take a look at some QBs, O-linemen, and running backs before we finish off our show with our Big Games BS section, where we'd like to bring the scope of the convo outside the typical sports and football world. And we have our BS or Bussin' food review segment. That should be a special fusion treat for you guys when you stick around at that point in the show. But first things first, let's go back to that MFTK segment and talk about the event that is happening tomorrow on July 11. James,
turn it up, turn Jaden up a little bit, Miles too. But yeah, so you weren't here, so you didn't get a chance to. Ooh, All right, yeah, you didn't get a chance to check it out, but like we had to we canceled the event. We had some teams have to pull out a little bit much. It's didn't happen the way we wanted it to happen, but I will say this: it did create some great conversations. Um, a lot of schools, like just I had some great conversations with Reigns. Since that point, since we finally did that, Matanzas High School. Shout out to like I'm gonna read this, and this is what started the good day. Like just sometimes just send somebody that text message to let them know, like, hey, you the shit, dog. You the shit. Let me find it first. Excuse me. All right. And I talked to a lot of other people on the phone, and I couldn't get it done. But a guy said, "Hey, coach, how are we looking for Saturday?" I said, "My bad, coach. I forgot someone between Tuesday and today. We had about 5 teams pull out, and that really messed up everything. We decided to cancel, as between the guys who pulled out and the other teams who didn't confirm or pay the deposit was too low to chance it. We're going to try this. We're going to get this done next June. Also, we did have the cash prize. The cash prize was dependent upon the amount of teams and kids that we got registered to sign up. So it took a big hit, those teams pulling out. 10-4, I understand. We'll for sure be locked in for next year. I'm trying to expose Flagler County to some top-notch talent, so keep me in mind anytime y'all are putting something together. We will travel. Coach Dale Arno, Matanzas High School, Flagler County. I said, that's the mentality for Northeast Florida. That's my mentality for Northeast Florida. From my MFTK 707 program to this, we want to expose these kids to different things, and I'm definitely going to keep you locked in. I love it. MFTK is taking over Northeast Florida. I'm from Jax, so I see and I hear the big things you guys are doing. Keep grinding. And then I say, hey, you got some 13U kids because I need some kids for my tackle football team. He said, I keep you in mind, man. But just just reading that, like I'm like, damn, it's crazy because you see some people that really they can see the vision, right? When you see people see the vision, and you're over here, all I look at is the fact that the event didn't go, and there's nobody harder on me than me. And but just to see a coach like that, man, like I appreciate that, man. I know that, like, again, you have no idea how much stress and how much work goes into putting this event on. And the only thing so like when you guys pull out of an event, I just want you to understand this from a guy who's an event organizer, right? When you don't live up to your commitment or you pull out, you're okay, but you really could throw some shit off on the other end because you got to pull out. One team got to pull out, right? And you inconvenience me, and that's cool. But that pullout at that moment, I have to talk to 15 other coaches or so. So that's you got to have the same conversation 15 times. You don't know what those coaches had to do to get there. There's bus slips, there's waivers, there's all kinds of things that they got to do for the parents, right? Then you've got your sponsors that you got to talk to. Like I always told you, 500 times 16 is 8,000. We're giving away 10,000 in prizes. That's already a lost leader. We're only able to do that because of sponsors. So now you got to go tell sponsors that, that you can't do it anymore. And then you've got, other people that, just the haters. They're just like, oh, we knew that was too big. You all over. And I'm like, man, shoot. But, and then you got to make sure your partners are good. Because, like, damn, personally, I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to be disappointed with Dog Kobe, man. I thought Kobe it's a big boy, man. It's a big guy. Get angry. But we're not doing it. We will do more things. I think we're going to do a girls tournament, though, in a few weeks that we're just going to do a random ass traditional 7v7 tournament. So like it'll be still be cool. We'll still have the stuff. I think we still have some of the sponsorship stuff that we didn't have to give back. So it'll still be a good look. It gives me one less thing to do on Saturday. But again, on Saturday, Prime Osborne, pack the sack, pause. Gotta tell Terrence not to do that again. Name it that again. But there's a book bag drive at the Prime Osborne if you're in Jacksonville, Florida, that we gotta go do. And my dog, boy, my bad. I'm sorry, I can't get too long with on this. Miles, you gotta. I might need you on Wednesday to take Kai to practice, right? Just so you can see this dude. Yes, man. Man, that's right. You got work, but you be working, so or at least pick them up, like whatever. But from 6 to 8, man, your nephew out there smacking. They put him at linebacker.
Oh, really?
And man, I told like he's starting to hunt. His first game is next Saturday. They play a jamboree. I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy about it. He's so pumped. Like the only thing he's mad about because he likes his camp. He has to miss camp because they play at 1:00 on Friday. And I'm going to figure out how to fucking stream this shit. I don't know how. I don't have all my tools with me, but I'm going to bring something out. We're going to figure this shit out. But he has certification tomorrow to make sure he proves that who he is. And I don't know when Trey like started feeling himself, but Kai is starting to feel himself with football. So it's like a whole different vibe. Like Trey smelling it. Trey don't feel it. Trey smells himself right now when it comes to football. I'm like, man, he ain't that good. Even though he does some shit that's pretty damn good. But Kai is like just starting to feel. He's still not like the biggest kid. He's like right there, kind of like that top guy. But it's just like it's so much fun to watch him, man. I love it. It's just because it's cute right now. And I know that's not how you're supposed to describe football players, but he's cute. I don't know what else to say to you, but all right, but yeah, that's my so MFTK and my boys embody MFTK. Like Kai's like, if you ain't with MFTK, man, like I know you want to say, I might even get a little recording, like Jay, do you ever your mom raised you right with the old school stuff. So have you've listened to Ready to Die, right? Before by Biggie?
Yeah.
Like the whole album, like not just some of the song, but like it was like this one thing, like and I did this with my daughter one time on my voicemail, like, all you hoes calling for my daddy. My mama said get off his dick. Like I want to be like, if you ain't MFTK, fuck you. I want to get kind of say something like that, but whatever, man. All right, on to the next MFTK thing.
You do have your 7th annual community give back weekend starting in Orlando, then ending in Jacksonville, Florida, going from July 18th to August 8th. James, where do people get the opportunity to donate or to volunteer for these causes right here on the screen?
You can go to money sign MFTK36, or you could just do something crazy like buy a membership here or do some things like here, because the money that goes into this goes into the foundation account as well. You can go to mftkfoundation.com, go to /donate. You can click on that, donate whatever you need to donate. We are trying to raise as much funds as we can all the way up to it. First book bag drive is next Saturday in Orlando. I posted that on my Twitters and all my social medias. So if you're West Oaks Elementary School, shout out. We had somebody donate 500, donate the supplies for 500 bags, which I think is freaking amazing. And I really, really appreciate them for doing that. So we're really, really looking forward to kicking this off. Then we roll right into Tallahassee, my birthday weekend. We still got a lot of ground to cover for that. I want to be able to feed 500 plus, so we still need some funds for that. With I believe Second Harvest is giving about it's about $7.50 per family kit that we get for that. That would be great to get. And then we'll break it. We'll finish in Jacksonville on August 2nd for my football camp, where we're still looking for a location. And then August 8th, we'll wrap that up. I think we're going to probably end up doing it at Cuba Hunter for the football camp, just to keep it, since we already practiced there. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with those.
we got an interesting story from FSU football that may have went under the radar for all of our FSU fans out there, but we got to give a big shout out to Jaden Todd because Todd helped save a man's life last month, diving into action to save an unconscious boater. He was honored for his actions yesterday by the Citrus County Sheriff's Office, and this post was made on July 8th, 2026. So assuming that would be this photo was taken on July 7th, 2026, and we got a story right here from On3 about it that I will be reading for you guys. So while on a weekend fishing trip on the Homosassa River in Citrus County, Florida, with teammates Blake Nicholson, AJ Cottrell, and Caleb Lavallee, they came across a small group of boaters in distress. One man was unconscious in the water, only being kept afloat by a life jacket. Another man was trying to drag him back to the boat, and two women were waving frantically for help. They were saying to call 911. We think he's having a heart attack, Todd recalled. Before his boat had even stopped moving, Todd leaped into the river and swam over to the other watercraft. They weren't able to pull the guy up from the water because he was a bigger guy, Todd said. Having a 6'6", 314-pound offensive lineman on the scene improved the situation dramatically. Moving someone who is unconscious in the water is very hard, Jake Fisher, a corporal with the Citrus County Sheriff's Office Special Enforcement Unit, told On3. If it was anybody else, it would have been very difficult to get him back in the boat. And they said Jaden just did it with ease. Him being able to do that was a huge part of saving that guy. The man in the water was Michael Hoffman, and he was not in the clear just yet. However, getting him back onto the boat was imperative, but Hoffman still wasn't breathing. Once we got him in the boat, we flipped him over and his face was purple. It didn't look very good. Within moments, reinforcements would arrive on the scene, and the other FSU players helped get the attention of Citrus County Sheriff's Deputy Robbie Crosno, who just happened to be patrolling that portion of the river. And not long after that, another boater arrived to help. Both would prove essential to saving Hoffman's life. Crosno had an automated external defibrillator AED on his boat, and the other Good Samaritan, identified in the sheriff's report as Seth Greco, a former firefighter EMT. Hoffman still had not regained consciousness, however, so Crosno knew he needed to get him back to the dock where more emergency personnel could continue life-saving measures. Greco continued administering CPR while Crosno raced back to River Haven Marina. Once there, they were met by Citrus County fire rescue workers who took Hoffman to Tampa General Hospital, Crystal River. So, yeah,
Wow.
man. Shout out to Jaden Todd on doing a heroic life-saving action right there that ended up saving the life of an unconscious boater. So, man, shout out to Todd for doing something that many people wouldn't even think of doing, stepping in, saving someone's life. So, huge shout out to Jaden Todd, and huge shout out to the survivor of the incident as well, hoping to live another day. So, shout out to all the parties involved, and recovery to the unconscious boater as well. Speedy recovery as well. So, great story. Great story.
This is a guy who I believe Miles must have trained. Miles must have coached him because there's no way black men can swim. You know, black men can't swim. But nah, that's a good stuff. Like, these are more of the things that people need to be seeing with kids. Like, man, this is a great act. There's absolutely nothing for football, but it's a good act. It's good. Like, we need, you know what? Let me stop, because there are people who believe in the universe, people who believe in karma. Maybe this is going to be the thing that gets us over the top. I'm with this. If this is what helps push us forward, man, let's go start finding people. We need to set up a FSU weekend team that looks for people in distress. Yeah, we gotta be heroes. We gotta be heroes, man. I don't think he's all black. That might have been the white side of him that was swimming though. Definitely mixed or something. Like, I think that, but kudos to that. Jay, did you you got the video? No, Jay said he doesn't play video games like that. Florida State, like 77, I believe Ashton Daniels is. Like, they are really trying not to make sure Florida State is good at anything in life. It does. Like if you like, man, Florida State, pah. But Trey's playing with them regardless. So like Trey's just like, yeah, this is my squad. I'm rolling with them. As his quote is, they won't suck when I'm there. Yeah, which is cool.
Wanted to get some good dialogue going with this chart right here, courtesy of at CFB Report on X. And this shows the relationship between roster talent and winning in the college football NIL era, which is from 2021 until the present. So you can see on the bottom row right there, it says total wins since 2021. And if you go to the left side of the chart along the vertical plane, you see the average team talent rank since 2021. And the criteria they use is per 247. And you see some circles and squares and colors on the screen with the green at the bottom with winning more with less talent, the gold up top with the gold standard, and you got a few teams in the red. All of the big three, in fact, is in the red with doing less with more talent. So let's take a look at the green circle, for example, and look at the total wins since 2021 for these programs, including Washington State and BYU. And let's take a look at the amount of total wins compared to their average team talent rank. You can see that the average team talent rank is pretty low for a BYU, a Boise State, or Wake Forest, but they still have accumulated a decent amount of total wins in the NIL era. Hoping I explained that perfectly for everybody so we can keep on keeping on. Now let's transition from the bottom to the top and look at the red. You can see right here that the big three, Florida State, Miami, other teams as well, including LSU, Texas A&M, and USC, are doing less with more talent. You can see we have higher average team talent rankings since 2021. But if you take a look at our total wins since 2021, it does not amount to a BYU or even a Duke or a Boise State. Now we're going to transition from there all the way to the right corner and look at the gold standard according to CFB Report. Take a look at teams like Notre Dame, Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, and Georgia. You can see that they were ranked really high, or if not the highest, in terms of team talent ranking, and they have the most total wins since 2021. So they're getting a bang for their buck, and they are getting production with their team rankings. James, I just wanted to show this chart to everybody. I thought it gave a good idea on the talent to total wins ratio. It definitely gave us an idea on what it looks like or what it should look like. So my question to you from this graph, any surprising placements on this list that you were shocked to see?
Um, yeah, like, well, Ole Miss is up there pretty high, but I think what the graph explains. So one thing the graph does explain is that Jimmy's and Joe's win more than X's and O's. Like, it doesn't matter how good of a coach you are, you to be the gold standard consistently, you have to have the cats. Like, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that are probably consistently in the top 10. When you look at the bottom part, the green, those are cool things, but those are jobs that you take in order to be able to get to the jobs that are like in the middle, or to the gold standard. Be prepared for when the gold standard got stepped down. Even with that though, blow it back up, please. Like, let's just be clear. Washington State went through the Pac-12 breakup, and the Pac-12 was already the softest conference. BYU plays in the Mountain West. They're the best team in the Mountain West. Them and Boise both. They don't consistently play against anybody that's in those upper echelon teams. That those teams are just above them, all the way up to the gold standard. So like, they don't play those types of teams. Duke and Wake Forest, have done more with less, which is cool. I think Houston, Illinois, and Cincinnati are in there. But or is that Indiana? I don't know. I think that's UH that's in there. But like, oh no, yeah, I see Indiana now. So Indiana's only there because they've had two really, really good seasons back to back. And I'm not knocking them for that, but like let's just pump our brakes on that one real quick. But most of those teams are about right where you were. That's why I always say the top 25 is kind of relative. Like the same teams that need to be in there are in there. Um, you you do need you do I am I'm shocked to actually see Florida State as high um as far as wins on that list as they are, but they did have a 13 and they had a 10, they had a two double-digit win seasons back to back here recently. So and Florida has had about four, no, since 2020. So 2021, Florida's had two below 500 seasons, I believe. And they did have that one run with trash, but that was that was COVID year. So that was 2020. So that doesn't count. So, but yeah, I mean, it just shows that you got to have cats. You have to invest in recruiting and the transfer portal if you want to win. All of those teams are also transfer portal rich.
Just wanted to get the convo going. And James, you did say BYU was in the Mountain West. They're in the Big 12. Just wanted to correct you on that.
But I mean, okay, my bad. They did they used to be in the Mountain West? But Big 12, man, that's still, but still, even in the Big 12, like, man, look. So when we look at it, let's see, even in the overachieving, I mean, the doing less with more talent range. There are no Big 12 teams in that. There are no Big 12 teams in the gold standard. Most of the Big 12 teams are kind of like below average or like right there in the middle. So like they're the best of the middle. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. There's no disrespect. I think they have a really good coach. I think they really should be in like even more glorified. They should automatically get a place in the playoff if they win 10 games because they're Mormons and you can't, and they know they can't use sex to recruit kids. They got to soak. So, that's a tough thing to do, man.
The LSU Tiger Athletic Foundation did send out this letter to donors that they were going to receive an announcement about the unveiling of a new financial plan for athletics that stands to, quote, quite possibly change the future of college sports, unquote, according to Ross Dellinger. Here's the letter right here. So college athletics is at financial crossroads, and we're feeling it every day at LSU. As someone who has contributed generously to our program to keep them afloat, you know how unsustainable the budget of the athletic department looks and how hard TAF, Tiger Athletic Foundation, has worked with our donors to assist. Governor Jeff Landry supported the presidency of Dr. Wade Rouse because he believes Wade is an innovator, especially as it relates to economics, financing, and revenue. The governor and the president are inviting you to a private event at the governor's mansion on Monday, August 3rd or Wednesday, August 5th, beginning at 6 p.m. to get a first look at an alternative revenue generating opportunity for LSU athletics that is first of its kind nationally and could quite possibly change the future of college sports in America. Let me be clear. This is not an ask for money. It's not a fundraiser. It's informational. This is a conversation about the future of LSU athletics. Please let me know ASAP if you're willing to attend one of these meetings at the mansion and which date works best for you. And remember, what unites us all is 3 letters, 2 colors, 1 state. We are all LSU. Hope to see you soon. James, it looks like LSU is continuing to get those dollars rolling in for their athletic programs. You can see the letter they sent out to donors as well as part of that Tiger Athletic Foundation. What could be in store, James, in your mind for these LSU donors with this letter right here?
I don't know. Like, they're not asking for money. They're not doing like I don't like. Are they just going to paint a bleak picture of what? I'm just tired of the narrative that this is unsustainable. I'm just so like I'm tired of that when I know we're about to get to a point where a coach is going to make like can we find like who's getting paid the most? Is is Kirby getting paid like 12? Is somebody getting paid 15 yet? Because that's the shit that's unsustainable and not maintainable. Like you can't keep saying this and then keep paying coaches more. You can't pay like there are coordinators who are getting paid what college head coaches are getting paid. Like 13.2 million. Like you can't because again, you know what's gonna happen when Georgia makes the playoffs next year? Kirby's gonna get an extension. Ryan Day is about to probably pit Ohio State versus the NFL. Dabo's probably gonna make more money. Sark is probably going to either try to make a jump to the end. Like it's just like stop telling me how unsustainable it is to pay the young men when we're paying the old men. Because it's not just 13.2 million, it's guaranteed 13.2 million. On top of the fact that they probably got coordinators that are getting paid anywhere between $3 and $5 million. So you got running back coaches that are getting paid $1 million. Like you're saying it's unsustainable to pay 20 to 30 million dollars for 100 players, but it's sustainable, but it's okay to pay that same amount of money to 10 guys. And that's not including the off the field, the analyst, or anything else. Like, are you write it down, read it out loud? You're saying it's unsustainable to pay the same amount of money for the people who fuel the engine as it is like so all of the stuff that you need to make these guys make this money, that's unsustainable. But paying the guys whether they win or lose and having them for multiple years, that's the part that we have an issue with. That's why you'll never like it's, unless they're going into that meeting and they're saying, look, we can't stop telling these colored kids that they can't get paid this money and it's unsustainable. We must pay them their worth. So this is what we're going to do. Unless they're doing that shit, man, I don't give a damn about that governor's meeting, man. Cause I'm just tired of that narrative. Raise the money and get me some people who can raise the money.
Let's look at the most experienced rosters in CFB entering this new season. And James, I hate to say this team at the top of this list, but they are an ACC opponent of ours, a conference opponent of ours, the Virginia Cavaliers, with 39,158 snaps under their belt. Then you got Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, and Houston rounding out your top five. UCLA is at number 6, Texas A&M, and the reigning college football champions, Indiana. But let's look at the big three. I know we got a lot of big three fans in the house, and the first big three squad on this list is Florida. Florida with 26,059 snaps. Miami shortly behind them with 25,739. And then Florida State a little bit down in this column, in between Arizona and Oregon with 25,108. I know experience is and chemistry is something that is seeming like a rare commodity in that college football world, especially all in the same team, in fact. But that is where the big three pans out in terms of experience rosters in college football entering the season. But James, I feel like there's some surprise names on this list that many people may not have guessed, including UCLA, even though they're not really a football program, but still they do have a lot of experience on that roster. Any surprising teams on this list, especially in that first column where Virginia is the king of?
UCLA, Houston, Cal, and Arizona State. What's scary is, well, I didn't realize, I thought Virginia lost a lot. Did Virginia's quarterback get allowed to come back? I mean, shit, that he's at least worth 10,000 of the snaps. He was old as hell. Texas Tech being there, um, Oklahoma State, who just fired their. So what's shocking is the teams that just fire their coaches have a lot of experience. So Oklahoma State, Ole Miss had a transition. They didn't fire the coach, but they had a transition. All right, good. Auburn just got rid of their coach. Virginia Tech just got rid of their coach, but they probably took a lot of people from this other school, Penn State. It's just crazy that you would think that, and then also we talk about transfer portal, how evil it is. But when you look at this, it's like it seems like some schools either are doing a good job of keeping experienced players or they're just paying them. It works when it works. It doesn't when it doesn't.
Chandler Morris did put his name in the draft because he did exhaust his eligibility, and he ended up getting picked up by the Tampa Bay Bucks as a undrafted free agent. So he's on
Yeah.
that Buck squad.
About right where he was at. It's gonna be a great story. Got some great wins, great victories. He's a good person, man. Gonna sell a lot of insurance one day. Be a great ball coach.
Now, while we do discuss a lot of different types of lists and preseason rankings during this off season, as we find some football content, James, this is one of the most important preseason lists we discuss because it lays the groundwork for how we discuss teams when it comes time to putting them in that CFP. This is none other than ESPN's FPI, the chance to make the CFP. So we got Ohio State at the top of this list with a 75.7% chance to make the college football playoff. Notre Dame, Texas, Oregon, Georgia, and Miami rounds out your top six. Texas Tech, Indiana, the reigning champs, Bama, LSU, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, USC, BYU, Michigan, Ole Miss, Penn State, Clemson, Tennessee, SMU, Florida, Louisville, Missouri, Auburn, Iowa, Utah, and South Carolina round out the 10% and up range. But let's look at the big three. The last team on the big three, whose name I haven't called yet, is us, FSU, and we have a 9.2% chance to make the CFP. UCF, 2.9% chance. However, we will not forget about y'all on I-4. But, James, Ohio State is looking like they have the highest chance to make the CFP with Julian Sand and with Jeremiah Smith leading the way. But any teams with a high percent that you think is fugazi? I know Texas Tech is a big one with that question mark over their quarterback position, but especially Texas Tech or even some other teams as well. Which teams do you think has an inflated chance to make the CFP with this grade?
LSU, Michigan, OU. USC. My bad. I forgot. USC is in a big. Yeah, USC ain't beating. Like USC is not gonna be one of the teams in the Big Ten. USC every year is going. Every year USC is back. USC, we don't do enough about USC because they're on the West Coast, but USC is the U, but worse. At least Miami is giving us flashes. USC every year has the top recruiting class. Is the best thing on the West Coast. Everybody wants to go to USC on the West Coast, and USC hasn't sniffed a championship since they got beat by the king of damn, I can't even think of the restaurant. I used to look the king of TGI Fridays and Vince Young. So like that's that's the real one. Is USC ain't doing shit. I don't even know why they rank them top 25 every year.
Now, James, let's take a look at this right here. I'm going to blow it back up for you guys so we can get into the SEC discussion of it all with this list, especially because you got some teams in the mix that many people were mad they cracked the college football preseason top 25, especially when you have South Carolina on this list, who finished 4-8 last season. You have Auburn as well, who finished 5-7 last season. And especially too, you have Missouri as well, who did a little bit better with 8-5, and also with Tennessee Volunteers with 8-5 as well. A lot of people were saying online that the college football playoff committee, or bigger than that, college football itself has to stop with this SEC narratives, especially with the likes of Missouri and South Carolina getting in the mix as well. But James, I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on the idea of teams, especially in this preseason time, banking on the SEC teams for that strength of schedule in the later part of the season? That has a lot to do with college football playoff selections, seedings, and just rankings in general, because we know Missouri is a team that always gets put in these spots, but never really gets to that point of success.
Missouri, the same Missouri who just lost to Virginia, which is crazy to me. Which Missouri is good. Missouri, but I'll take Missouri over that low over Auburn and South Carolina. It should not be in there. SMU should be ranked higher. Iowa should be ranked higher. Florida should not be ranked as high as they are, but that is about potential because of the new coach, as well as they do have some talent that's on that roster, but I don't think they should be that high. Maybe put them where South Carolina is at. Um, Ole Miss, okay. Um, Outside of that, Texas Tech shouldn't be there when with the things that we know about Brendan Sorsby. We don't know anything about the other quarterback. If you want them to be top 25, that's fine, but they should not be right there. Outside of that, I mean, I'm pretty cool with the rank. I mean, the rankings are the rankings. Things will change. There'll be some teams in there that we're not even thinking about. I think there are some G6 teams that probably should be in there that people are over purposely overlooking. But yeah. Um Killer J, I don't even know how to say that, but but would you take Riley at FSU? Absolutely. I don't think it's Lincoln Riley is an overrated coach. I just think USC as a program, I think the South is where the best athletes are at. They won't be able to consistently win because they don't have the mentality or the type of players that need to go out there. There's nothing wrong against West Coast players, but West Coast plays a different brand of ball. And when you get met with the physicality of the guys from the South, when it's 75 degrees and breezy and a beach everywhere, you can go like in the worst things that you have to deal with are wearing colors. Like there's just things that's a temperament that we don't have here in the South. I can wear whatever colors I want to wear, except for on Saturdays. But like if I gotta wear blue and change my C's to B's, I gotta say what's bracking instead of what's cracking and all this other stuff. Like that's a lot. That's very complicated. Like I don't need that in my life. That's a temperament that I don't want on the football field. Like I can't. Like imagine not being able to recruit the two best players in LA because one's from a blood neighborhood and one's from a Crip neighborhood. Like that's just dumb. Like it's brazy is what we would have to say. But I do believe Lincoln Riley's a good coach. I think if you match him with a good defensive coordinator, and with the talent that we have in the ACC, yeah, that type of offense would do very well in the ACC with the kind of cats that you have over here and his pedigree. We would automatically. Florida State is a great quarterback away from being in these discussions, and if you're a quarterback, why wouldn't you want to go play for Lincoln Riley? Like, has anybody had more first overall picks than him? Like, shoot, we're getting everybody. But that's not me saying I want Mike Norvell gone. That's just me stating that I would do. I actually believe Mike Norvell would probably do better at USC than he did here because he would add a different level of physicality to the West Coast team that would make them tougher. And I think that would help them be able to be successful, especially with USC being in the big. So like you can't go out there and y'all living your best life and y'all and you gangster walking, and then now you got to go to Michigan when it's cold. So it's a completely different climate that they're having to go to 5 weeks out of the year. Oh yeah, definitely don't know humidity.
Speaking of G6, here are the percentages for each G6 squad to make the CFP. No surprise here that Boise State is at the top of this list with 11%. UNLV, Dan Mullen and company, 8.6%. Tulane, 7.5%. You got San Diego State, sleeper school, but for any of the real NFL fans out there, you know some cats have come out of this school right here, 7.4%. USF with 5.3% rounds out your top five. But James, you see the N right there, Navy, 4.8%. But these are your G6 squads right here and their chance to make the CFP. So it looks like
You want to know the one
boys.
that's really funny that I pray happens? Actually, I wonder if there's money I could lay on that. I absolutely would just love life if James Madison made it.
Oh my goodness. You just want to
It's just chaos. Like, no, because you know who James Madison's coach is, right? Billy Napier.
Billy Napier.
Imagine Billy Napier going to James Madison and taking them to a place that Florida, he could not do it at Florida. Like James, but Billy Napier looks like Billy Napier is glowing right now. You know how they say when women break up or get like, oh, look at her, she's so happy. Even if she's not, it's just this like fun stuff to say. Billy looks like he is enjoying life. But Boise's definitely up there, and just I think, yeah, Boise is definitely gonna be Boise.
We are super excited to announce this since we are fans of.
I see Montre put DJ glowing too. Also, we got to start. I want to start hosting Twitter Spaces about stuff, but I know this is on Twitter, so it's technically like a Twitter Space, but people kind of like Twitter Spaces for whatever reason more than anything else. They were talking about my guy Tramel Jones. Can we stop with the Tramel Jones is a good athlete shit? It's racist. I don't know if Tramel I'm not sure Tramel can beat me in a 10-yard foot race. Like today, like now. Now, what Tramel can do is throw the ball. The other kid is a better athlete than Tramel will tell you that. But like y'all keep saying this because he's black. What's his black player? Oh, he ain't that bad now. Hold on now. Like I can see him being so. Donovan McNabb was never considered a great, like he could run, but he wasn't Vic. I'd say he's more like, but he's a better passer, I think, than McNabb in college. Black quarterback. Oh, shit. Well, he got 16 of them now. I know he's not. I can tell you he's not. He's not Lamar. We can cross that off the list. ASAP. Yeah, like that's why we're doing this, because all the black ones are. Man, so college. Tua. His brain's not smooth, but he's more like Tua. He's a willing runner. He can get you there. He can get you there, but he's not a guy that just athletic is not the first thing I want y'all saying about my guy. And this isn't, you can't say, oh, well, you're James, you just hate him because Tramel's one of my favorite people. I coached the kid. A big part of the reason why he went to Mandarin. I remember the conversation I had with his dad. Just when they were trying to pick schools, like they were talking about schools, I'm like, yo, this is what you should do. Blah, 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 blah. I remember picking up the phone when he made his first varsity throw and telling my friend Denny Thompson, like, who was adamant about him playing JV and not playing varsity. And I said, hey, you got to get over that shit. Because again, the funniest thing is I will say this. Yeah, because he hadn't played. I didn't know he had been hurt the last 2 years. So he hadn't even really played football for 2 years. And so, like, he came out, low snap, picked it up, got smashed right up under the chin, but threw the ball on a rope on a slant, and Buddy went to the house. Like, that was his first throw in high school in a jamboree. I said, hey, and I stopped what I was doing. You know, coaching. Everybody like, you shouldn't have cell phones on the sideline. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. I can do what I want to do. I'm watching football games. I'm doing all kinds of stuff on the. My running back's gonna run, all right. But I got a lot of things going on. Like I've literally watched. Toby had to tell me one time, like, "Hey, can you not tweet about the Florida State game during our game?" Like they played on a Friday. I said, "Hey man, I ain't tell Florida State to play on a Friday." But like I had literally told people, I said, who was the quarterback? He ended up transferring out, but like when Jay Trav got hurt, we were playing Louisville, and I was like, I don't think this person is a good person. I think they hate Florida State, and I don't know why he hates Florida State, but the way he's playing, I don't believe I just know he's an awful person that should not be around kids. Yeah, Tate Rodemaker. I was roasting Tate. Everybody's like, wait a minute, James, aren't you coaching? Yeah, but Florida State's playing. I got to keep updates on the game. I got to talk about this shit. But it was funny though. Like, but he's but Trammell is. I went on the track. I was respectful. I walked away from the sideline. I walked on the track and I said, "Hey, Trammell gonna be the quarterback, dog. Like moving forward, get over it. Got a good running game, and we're gonna do all these things." And Trammell was a very successful high school quarterback. One of the biggest tragedies that I'll ever have in my coaching career is him being hurt against the Atlantic Coast and us not being able to see him win a state championship. This is what I want to get into.
According to HBCU Sports, this is the first ever preseason Black college football poll dropped today for HBCU Division 1 and Division 2 teams. Let's start with D1 FCS Football Championship subdivisions, in case you didn't know what that stood for, on the left-hand side. So we see South Carolina State with the number 1 rank in this preseason HBCU poll with you can see right there, they're on top of Prairie View, Jackson State, Alabama State, North Carolina Central, Delaware State, Grambling State, Bethune, Texas Southern, and FAMU cracked this list. You can see the records in that column, that third column, from last season. So you can see South Carolina State went 10-3, while FAMU at the bottom did go 5-7 as well. And you can see the first place votes tally on that last column with 185 for South Carolina State. So that rounds out your FCS squads, but let's take a look at the D2 squads as well. Johnson C. Smith is at the top of this list. Benedict, Albany State, Virginia Union, Kentucky State, Fayetteville State, Virginia State, Allen, Edward Waters, shout out E-Dub, Jacksonville's own, and Tuskegee rounds out your Division 2 preseason Black college football poll. So just thought this was a great post to share with you guys since we love HBCU football, and this is the first ever preseason HBCU poll.
This is kind of disrespectful too at the same time. And this is what we as Black people tend to do is there are 3 HBCUs, notable HBCUs, that are missing from that. They only have the ones that can quote unquote participate in the Black College National Championship, which is the Cricket Wireless Bowl. But they don't have Tennessee State, they don't have Hampton, and they don't have North Carolina A&T. Hold on. I'm trying to find their records, but like that's kind of like crazy because those are HBCU programs. Those are historically Black colleges, regardless of their conference affiliation. You can't take that away from them. D2, I think they're doing all the other stuff. Blow that back up again. I do believe. Damn, they really believe Albany State lost that much with Quinn left that they're not going to be there. Damn, those teams actually. Damn, all 3 of those teams went 2-10 last year though. God damn. But I do. I think FAMU will be better, but FAMU can't participate in postseason, so it doesn't really matter. I think Quinn's going to take them to a whole nother level. He'll be gone in 2 to 3 years. That's how good he's going to do. I think Edward Waters is going to be better than what they've been. Oh, my bad. Albany State's number 3. I missed that. Edward Waters is going to probably be higher up that list. They have a lot returning. So Delaware State with my Crip. They won that many games. Where's Mike Vick at? I forgot which one he's at.
Norfolk State.
Okay. So, but they still need to do some work. But like, I'm excited about. I really want people. I love HBCUs, man. Like, I strongly encourage anybody, like white, black, whatever, dog. Like, if y'all really want peace in America, fuck what them politicians and all them other cats say. Adopt the HBCU. Dead shit. Fuck what the HBCU folks say. Find you a good HBCU program that you could just fall in love with. And just say, you know what? Like, if you're in Tallahassee, if you're an FSU fan, you should like FAMU. I'm gonna tell you why. Like, go to a FAMU game. Imagine a world, right? And this is the joy of growing up in Tallahassee, right? Imagine a world where you can go to an FSU game, you can go to FAMU game at 4 and still go to an FSU game at 8. You could have and on top of that, you really don't have to like do a lot. They're right around the corner from each other. So like, if you wanted to like, oh man, I hope nobody steals this from me. But if they had like with GPS trackers, if they just did like a golf cart, like they have like the petty cars, but like if you just could go get like a golf cart, you could transport people from FAMU to FSU games. Is that close? Like a car, you're gonna be driving an hour because you ain't gonna have nowhere to park. But park where you're going to end. Get you like pay me and my company $200 to rent the cart for the day. I'd probably charge more, but whatever. You get 4 people on the cart. You can take the back road. You can drive that thing. Or boom, I'm like, my man. Shout out to my man Mike with the pedicab service. But like, bump all of that. Let's automate Uber cart. Ooh, I like that. And then like just it only operates during game days. 40. Actually, you know what? That's probably even better because now $50 a ride. Load that bitch up and then boom, let's roll. And you'll be right. You go back and forth to the games. But anyways, I love HB. Like the football is not going to be as good. But you know what's going to be better than anything you've ever had in your life? The food. Like, that's where we got to, like, do, like, Jada can do correspondence. He'll be back in Tallahassee. But, like, that's where the BS or Buster needs to come into play. And I ain't talking about going to these vendors. These vendors are out of fucking control, man. Charge you $40 for 4 legs. 4 wings and some fries and a drink, and a diabetes drink. But if you go get to a tailgate and you really got some people that can cook, man, you good. Edward Waters is in Jacksonville. By the way, for people who are saw somebody in the chat ask that. Edward Waters is out east. I've actually had my football camp at Edward Waters before. The seats less than a high school stadium.
So for any of my fantasy football fans out there, Yahoo has officially released their college fantasy football, and this is everything you need to know about Yahoo's college fantasy football. So let's get through this right here. So what is it? Some fantasy football you already love, except now your player pool is Power 4 teams and Notre Dame. So scoring, you already know, 25 rush reception yards equals a point, 25 passing yards is a point, and a passing touchdown is 4 or 6 points, depending on which league settings you choose. Your starting lineup, you will not choose a kicker ever, something James likes, and you get a QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 flex positions, and 1 defense and or special teams, and one new spot, team offense. And meet team offense scores points for an entire team. Top 5 offenses in 2025. You have Indiana, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Utah, and Vandy. How team offense scores 3 plus for a touchdown any type, plus 1.5 for first 300 yards of offense, plus 0.25 for every 50 yards after that. -2 for a turnover, +1 for field goal made, and +1 or -1 team win, team loss. Draft strategy. Running backs, they go early in the draft, don't wait on them. Wide receiver, the most volatile position. Draft a true wide receiver one early. And quarterback, lots of depth. Feel free to wait, but not too long. And tight ends, they score less than any other positions, but there are a couple game changers out there. And then you can win on waivers. 68 teams means constant turnover. Transfers, true freshmen, and shaky camp battles equals opportunity every week. And watch the schedule. Stars get pulled early in blowouts, and close games are better than 77-10 games for fantasy points, obviously. And ready to play, you sign up at Yahoo with the link in their bio. So I think a lot of people will be taking the opportunity to play that college fantasy football. I know the streets have been hungry for something like this, and hopefully Yahoo will kickstart it off right. So shout out to them.
I like the double flex.
I'm not this is why I don't care about kids getting paid, man. Fantasy football is this is just another opportunity to make more money off the backs of these kids, man. Like, bump all that dumb shit, man. Like, y'all miss me with that. Like, this is going to be another gambling is the minute we stop worrying about PEDs and gambling in sports is the minute that will save a lot of people a headache. Gambling and PEDs is they're going to what's stopping 20 million Chinese people from having babies and putting and just having them in America and then leaving. Like, that's never happened and not gonna happen. So like it's just a weird fantasy that people like are just I don't know, people are weird, man. People are weird.
Let's kick off this NFL segment with a question. So, in the AFC South, who is the best QB, running back, wide receiver, and defensive player? I know with one of these categories, it's not even close with last year. Who is the best QB? But, James, I pose this question to you and to everybody in the chat.
T Law, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, or whatever his name is, just wide receiver is I don't know.
I've seen Nico Collins, but that one's kind of iffy with his injury history. But I've seen Nico Collins. I've even seen somebody put Brian Thomas, assuming he
Brian
bounced
Thomas,
back.
again, that's potential. I
Right.
don't like Nico. Sure, fine. Argue. The first top two aren't arguable or inarguable, or I don't know what the right English is for that. Defensive player is shit. It's whatever two guys from the Texans that you want to pick. Like, it's two of them motherfuckers. Like, motherfucker good. Shit. I know it's not a Jags player. I can promise you, like, the only person that you might want to say, and that's pure hype, is Sauce. And the Titans got some cats, but they're not like that. So, but yeah, Polo Kid, I'm with you. That's a list that I would have a hard time arguing. T Law, JTT, BTJ, and Will Anderson. But Will Anderson would be one of the guys that I would put over there. Like I said, just pick somebody from it's a Texans player. It ain't nobody else in the division. Josh Hines Allen is a guy that should be good. What's my guy name? The kid from Georgia should be good, but they are good. Not should be good. They are good. They just aren't what I would be wearing with that.
Let's look at this list right here, this tier system, to answer this question posed by NFL and CBS. Which tier does your team fall into? For which teams have best set their QB up for success? So, this is a measure of how well the offense is crafted around that quarterback. So, according to NFL and CBS, these have the best ecosystems for their QBs to thrive: the Rams, the Chicago Bears, the Lions, and lastly the Cowboys. In your tier two, with a very good environment, you have the Niners, the Jags, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Chargers. And for tier three, above average, you have the Vikings, Falcons, Packers, Saints, Broncos, Eagles, and Colts. And let's take a look all the way down to the bottom at tier 6 and 7. Help needed: the Commanders, Browns, Titans, and lastly, the Dolphins have a tier of their own with the Dolphins, because that projected starting lineup is quite scary for the Dolphins, not in a good way. But, James, what do you think about this tier system right here? And do you agree with the placements of these squads with the question posed?
Jaden Daniels is one of the best young quarterbacks, and he has a wide receiver that they're like. Did they extend his contract?
Terry?
Yeah,
Yeah, they did last year. That's why he
yeah.
was
That's what I'm saying. So
holding
like,
out and
this
stuff.
doesn't like. So you have a good QB, you have a decent running game, and you have a wide receiver, and you have a tight end that's considered one of the type per every. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Now the other teams I get, but that doesn't make sense. The Eagles, I get where they're at. Probably should be in tier two, and here's the reason why: they're not a traditional NFL offense. Like, he wins more games when he's running the wing T. Basically, we don't want him over 100, over 200 yards consistently. It doesn't end well. But like, if his offense is tailored for him to be a power style back, I believe you're going to see Caleb Williams and take a huge step down. Yeah. Um, and because if you go back and you watch his highlights, and I only had somebody because he was like, "Oh, I'm unfamiliar with your game." He is doing a lot of Patrick Mahomes stuff, but he doesn't have the infrastructure or the intellect from a quarterback at this juncture that Pat had. Now, that's not because he's light skinned and the other one's brown. It's because Pat had the benefit of sitting out a year and learning from a really good quarterback. So I get that. Cowboys are the Cowboys. Like, they're until proven differently. Like, I'm sick and tired of them they should never be number one because they haven't done anything since I was Kai's age. Like, how long do you get to live with this? Um, and it's also hypocritical with all this stuff because you're gonna see a bunch of pundits, CBS, NBC, ABC, NFL, all of them. They're gonna talk about how bad the Jags are. But then you go and you look at again what the Jags are set up to do until proven otherwise, which is fine. That's why we play games. The Jags have put themselves in a position to be able to win, and they got better. And it's just, but the only team I think that is accurately ranked on this is LA. Uh, Um, and I think Drake May is like, didn't they just get AJ Brown? Like, why isn't the Patriots up there? Patriots should at least be in tier two. Yeah, like, that's disrespectful.
We're about to show some love to some running backs, and huge shout out to Zeke for sure, because these running backs have the most rush yards over the last 10 years. Derrick Henry, no surprise here, 13,018 yards, but Derrick Henry is still on top. Excuse me, but Ezekiel Elliott is still ahead of a lot of your favorite running backs. He's in second place with 9,130, and Saquon in third place with 8,356. To finish out this top 10 list, you have Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, JT, CMC at 7, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, and Alvin Kamara rounding out your top 10 in most rush yards over the last 10 seasons. James, is anybody gonna catch Derrick Henry anytime soon with his numbers, man? Shout out North Florida's own for sure, because man, he is definitely leading the pack in dominant fashion.
A lot of elders in that, but a lot of guys are still there. So like that's crazy though. That Zeke hasn't played in a while and he's still up that high.
Next, since we're on running backs, y'all, we got some interesting stats to read off for you guys. And you know it's interesting when Orenthal kicks off this list. Well, who do I mean? What do I mean? You guys will see, because we're talking about the most rushing yards per game in a season. So let's take this blast from the past, if you will, and look at who had the most rushing yards per game in a season. Orenthal, aka OJ Simpson, leads the way with 143.1 rushing yards per game in a season. This was in 1973. Jim Brown is in second place with 133.1 rushing yards per game in a season in that 63 season. Walter Payton, 77. Eric Dickerson in 1984. And Adrian Peterson is the only running back in the 2010s on this list. And Jamal Lewis is the only running back in the 2000s on this list. And finally, Jim Brown is on this list twice. You also have Barry Sanders and Earl Campbell as well in that 128 rushing yards per game range as well. But man, James, do you see a running back touching these statistics, getting in the range of these rushing yards per game anytime soon?
Per game, like on average of the season? Fuck no.
With the heavy usage of throwing, especially.
Not until like 10 years when everything goes back, when the earth resets and everybody's gotten so sassy because of passing that they realize that the physicality of the game. Damn, OJ on that list twice, dog. Bills, fuck what y'all think he did, man. Like, go and make this happen.
OJ definitely had some crazy numbers on this list. OJ is on this list twice, and Jim Brown is on this list twice as well. So just wanted to give you guys some insight on the most rushing yards per game in a season, since we are on the running backs. And speaking of running backs, let's look at the top running backs heading into next season, see where James agrees or disagrees. No surprise here. If anybody is arguing with the number one rank, I think there's something definitely wrong with you not watching the tape. But Bijan, no surprise, number one. Jahmyr Gibbs, number two. The Lions have came out and said, James, that he is going to be their main running back. They are not going to be splitting carries like they used to with Sonic and Knuckles. But Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be taking the bulk of those running snaps. Him and Pacheco are the two running backs. Derrick Henry at 3, CMC with 4, Achane at 5. And lastly, to round out your top 10, you have James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon, Kenneth Walker, the former Super Bowl MVP, reigning Super Bowl MVP, and Kyren Williams. James, what do you think about this list of top 10 running backs as we head into the 2026 season? And who would you move around?
I would probably put Christian McCaffrey at 7. I will put Jonathan Taylor in Christian McCaffrey's spot. Really, that 4 through 6 after they make that move can all be moved around. Saquon did have a little bit of a drop off last year compared to what he had the previous year, but he still deserves to be in that top 10. I gotta go remember Kenneth Walker with the Chiefs. I don't remember the Chiefs running. I don't remember that, but I do, and I know Kyren Williams has some good games, but yeah. That's fucking right. You're right. Never mind. I apologies for the disrespect, Mr. Walker. Now I remember. I wasn't familiar. It threw me off. But yeah, those are, I'm not mad at the list. We gotta I gotta wrap it up. What else do we got? We want to get we got another NFL topic we can hit quick, or there's something that's big.
Yeah, we can hit this real quick, James. I saw you did respond, repost this on your X account, but NFL rumors, according to TMZ, Stephon Diggs, male sexual assault accuser Christopher Griffith, has submitted more than 100 pages of text messages and DMs as evidence to support his claim of getting SA'd in court.
Ooh, I can't wait to read them. Them things gonna be juicy. What's the tea? I mean, well, that means they've been fucking for a while. I mean, you can just somebody that again, man, that's a lot of text messages. Bruh, but just maybe so. Women, there are a lot of red flags that you should check. I just want you. This is free game by Big. I want women to win more than they even know. And I want us to stop celebrating Cardi. And I'm an unapologetic Cardi B fan. But this is not hot. This is not winning. You left the dude that at least all you had to worry about was women. To go to a dude that cheats on you with men and women. There's nothing you can do. You blew up your marriage and now possibly have to pay child support and have to split custody with your kids to go get pregnant with the dude that got 5 other chicks pregnant and doesn't even care that your body needs a break to go with somebody that you can even approve. Like a woman, he goes and finds a man. I know he got something. I know he got something. Now I know Cardi has something, which makes me not want her. Cardi and Meg gotta no longer be the examples. So we gotta stop that. So that's one thing. Number two, if the red flag is this, your man gets 5 people in a few group chats that he gets to talk to. Any man who's I'm not, people say you always on your phone. I'm looking at stuff. I got my phone buzzes all 24 hours a day. This is my job. This is like me being in front of, even though I need to get it updated, I purposely get the max amount of data on my because this is a laptop to me. It's pains for me to sit on the laptop. But I'm not excluding work. So I have a couple work group chats. But then they spill over. So I got my dog. So, but my one guy, I talk to him all the time. I talk to Kobe a lot. But me and Kobe got work. But we talk about work first, and then we start talking about fun shit. That's funny. But it is a lot of work in there. There's nothing that you're going to get in that. The salacious stuff is in my group chat of degenerates from Tallahassee. I'm not going to tell you the name of it. But so nobody subpoenas me. But that was it. But there's nothing that's going to get me to where we're talking sexually. It's a group chat. Yeah, but one person individually, that would, man, why are you talking to me so much? I don't like talking to people. Why are you talking so much? You got shit to do. You got workouts. Stephen needs attention. I don't even think he's gay as much as I think he just needs constant physical activity because he's bored. I don't know what's going to happen when he's away from football. We need to lock this man up. He is a nut ass freak bull alert. Nut ass freak bull alert. But man, but I do want to read. I'm curious to what kind of gay is he? I need Cardi to come in there. So how could you do those things to me when you was getting bent over by another man? Who says I was bending over? Oh, so you was doing the bending? That's what I want to know, if he was doing the bending. I don't want to know all the fine details. I just need to know, hey, yo, he was a pitcher. Okay, cool. He was a catcher. Oh, damn, that's tough, brother. We don't need no switch hitters around here. Did he hit him with the fleece? Nah. I tell him they got 2 choices. I like you, and I want you, and we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. The choice is always yours. like, I just, like, dude, like, you just, like, where is the old fruitopias, man? Like, but again, I was just talking to my godmom about this stuff, man. I blame women. Y'all be dating these fruitopia dudes, man.
I mean,
like, these dudes got some, you got some, these dudes got some sassafras in them, and you know they got a little sassafras in them, and you be like ignoring the sassafras. And then, like, now all of a sudden you wondering what happened. Like, you knew that dude was gay. You knew it was a little sugar in his tank when you kissed him. You tasted the Kool-Aid. Like, the rainbow. Like my grandma said, man, I love Olive to death, but that boy tastes his words. You knew he was tasting his words. Kid, this is gonna be a great off season.
Viral video where they're like, "Oh, which player would you like?"
No other day, like, yeah, like this, like, you know what? Forget the red flags. When all of his homeboys, who would you not let date your sister? When everybody says you, and they don't even just say, like, they know, like, this man liable. Your sister don't know who to defend her family from. All right.
We can finish up with that if the time permits, James. If that's all you want to discuss, we can wrap up with that as we bring in this weekend. If you got any last things to say to everybody out there,
this phone is powerful. So I just got a text. Trey's going to be, oh God, Jesus Christ. That's funny that he put Gillum. Like, was it Gillum? This is what Andrew Gillum's PR team needs to do. They need help. They need to put that he was flirting, like Stephon Diggs. He was getting the drugs for Stephon Diggs, because we all know he fruity. He fruity booty. Which is nothing wrong with that. Like, it's not a disability. It's just who you like. But speaking of fruity, and running for office, I just got a text. Trey got invited to speak at Byron Donald's press conference on youth fitness, which ironically, Byron Donald should not be talking about any kind of fitness. Byron's never been fit. Like, Byron went to Florida State at the same time. Wait, brother, we've seen the pictures, dog. You've been snacking for quite some time. But somebody asked if Trey would come and talk, and of course I'm gonna let my son talk at that kind of shit. Like, you never know. Like, Republicans buy shoes too, like the Michael Jordan quote. But we definitely gonna go. It is at a guy who I used to be business partners with, Jim. So, it's definitely going to be my Edith moment. If anybody's familiar with Marvel, do y'all know it's Edith, right? Yeah, Edith. Y'all know what that is? That stands for? Was it? Even in death, I'm the hero. So even when I lose, I'm gonna win, because he's definitely going to drop in there. I've been in the gym since my father had the gym years ago, and I work out this many days. We definitely go to Trey is all about building the brand. So, like, but that's a cool honor. Like, it's just, at the end of the day, Byron's more than likely going to be our next governor. I can dislike his policies, and I can dislike a lot of this shit, or I could just prepare for whoever the fuck is the next governor, and then make sure we partner with all of that shit. So, but yeah, also outside of that, man, great, man, I got work to do this weekend, man. Can't wait. Killer game next week. We got, I got to get my streaming shit together. I got to get all kinds of stuff, and I got a meeting with my guy Strip Club Scott to go talk about, getting some business and some marketing for fundraising. Please go to mftkfoundation.com. Please check us out. Help us get to our goals. Orlando's the first one. You go to jcolemangivesback.com to register for that. All of those things are on the social medias. Appreciate everybody for chopping it up with me. Oh, my bad. We got to do it for Till Dog. I don't even know if he's still here. Hopefully Till Dog is still here. How old are you? Put in the chat. Let's go out with Stevie Wonder if we can. You said what? I'll strip it. It's all good, but I just want him to get his love right now. He been there from day one. You know, even though Till Dog is one of these older gentlemen that have become couth in his elder years, forgetting that he probably was uncouth in his younger years. And the birthday song that would probably be a little bit more adequate for him would be Uncle Luke, It's Your Birthday. But we'll go with, he probably was also there when this Stevie Wonder Happy Birthday song was dropped. Ironically, around the time when they had made Martin Luther King's birthday a holiday. Now that they're, basically trying to strip days off, like I've never seen. Oh, that's it. Actually, you know what? That's my favorite birthday song. Listen, Kanye was, Kanye's. You've been together 10 years. You deserve a menage, especially if you put that BMW under the garage. went to the birthday. She got you a new sweater. Put it on. That's so, yeah, was that playing? Oh yeah, let's get that for my dog Till Dog. And you go out and you enjoy your birthday playing this, get you a young girl and flourish, King. Mm-hmm. Like make that face too. I didn't know that I've never seen the video before. I didn't know that they had a big booty hole in the video. There you go, right there. Hopefully some young girl gives you the cake. Big booty, so I call it big booty. Oh, there's no sound.
No.
We were presenting Will. Oh, hold on, no. Is it because we got to take the Jaden thing off?
I removed it already.
You took it off stage. I don't know. Damn.
Jada, you got it.
Damn.
At least you got the visual.
Well, you got the visual. Happy birthday. Hope you get this going on in your life. I hope they get you a cake just like that, sir. Y'all be blessed. Appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. And we will see you guys. Outside of that, we will see you guys next time.